the problem with me was, and is to get out of the way of what I think sounds good. So if you play a good chord, you say, "Oh man, that's a nice chord." So now, well, what am I going to play with that chord? So that means I had to find another nice chord to play with that nice chord, and then before you know it, you got handcuffs on because you've already judged it to be this good, whatever. And so, for me to get away out of my own comfort zone is. So I started reading and thinking about, well, I mean, I've gotten all kinds of books about Schillinger, you know, which is all mathematical, um, and then of course Schoenberg, J.J. Johnson loved Schoenberg, and a lot of it. I said, oh, well, maybe I should check him out, and then David will say, well, yeah, since try the tone rolls, blah blah blah. Anything that gets you out of trying to make it good right away, whatever that means. And that has been my salvation in that to try, and getting started is a hard one. Of course, if someone says, well, we'd like you to write something for us and we're willing to pay you some money for this, and then I say, oh, now I've got to put my money where my mouth is, so there, do you know the name Mulhall, Richard Abrams?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, well, Mulhall and I used to play with Eddie Harris years ago, and he's from Chicago, when we lived in Chicago. And he said, well, you got a notebook? I said, no. He says, come over to the house a minute. So we here in New York, because I knew him in Chicago, but not as well as I knew him since I've been here. And so I went over his house and I played some of the stuff I did with the BMI. He said, that's really good. He says, come in, let me show you something. He goes over to this big filing cabinet, I have 4 or 5, and he would, you've seen these books, these manuscript books. The filing cabinets were full of them. And he would pull them up and he would just open up, and they were full of little ideas, just sketches. And I mean, he had at least 50 pages, 50 books, that I could see. And he said, this kind of, if I get a project, I'll pick something out. And I said, well, this might work with this project, blah, 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 and get me started. And I said, wow. But then I began to read about painters and whatnot. They would sketch and they would do little etchings or little pencil this before they actually got the oil or whatever that they used. I said, wow, okay. So I got me a little book, and now I got me a few books, and I can see germs of ideas that have come out that got started.